Welcome to DeFi. Our journey starts today. We are going to go on a journey today, all of us together in this conference, which thank you, Harry, thank you everyone for putting this conference on. DeFi is, I think, where it's at. I'm building tools in the DeFi space. My name is Lisa Loud, and my company is Fluidify. But to start, I want to see from all of you, how many of you have a DeFi investment already? Great. All right, so I'd say about half the audience has been in DeFi. So we're going to talk about DeFi in a very basic way so that we can all come together on this journey. All right, so let's start with the three main pillars. There's finance, traditional finance, then there was blockchain, and now there's DeFi. How do these all fit together? Let's talk about a brief history of money. I'll start with my personal journey. I had poor, humble, modest beginnings. I didn't come from a wealthy family. We struggled with money. And this gave me a huge impetus to change my family's fortunes. I can remember in second grade, my teacher gave us a project to go onto the stock market and track prices, make a little portfolio. So I did it. Every day I checked prices online and I looked at the newspaper and figured out what my stock prices were, and I calculated my returns. My returns were like 45%. And I turned in my project, and my teacher said, no, you did it wrong. You can't make 45% in the stock market in 30 days. So from that moment, I thought, oh, I must be doing it wrong. Turns out, I wasn't doing it wrong. I just love trading. I love money. And that sounds terrible, but there's a quote, money is the root of all evil. People believe that. It's actually not true. The real quote from Mark Twain is, the lack of money is the root of all evil. And I believe that. Go look it up. So my early quest for success was really based on my personal goals to change my family's fortunes, to make life easier for us. And all I wanted was the chance to prove what they said, that money wouldn't make me happy. I went on, I was a software development engineer. I picked that career because I thought, you can make more money in software development. So that's what I'm gonna do. I moved to Silicon Valley because salaries were higher there. And I thought, I can make more money there. I even may have chosen my first spouse, partly at least, based on his earning power. It's possible, not sure, but don't tell him. So that was my personal journey. But what about global finance? Global finance, we see inequalities everywhere. In 2017, I was working for PayPal. I had done a lot of internal innovation at PayPal, really revamped the digital acquisition side of things, and I realized I'm not actually innovating in the world. I'm not making the world a better place. What I am doing is making a big tech company, PayPal, turn into a big bank. That just promotes the inequalities. That doesn't change the world. So in 2017, I made the switch. I went into Bitcoin, went into crypto, and it's been a wild ride ever since then, I can tell you. But that was my pivotal moment. So let's talk about this myth that we have, this idea that millionaires, billionaires are self-made, that our world is based on merit, that anyone can build a fortune. A study done by inequality.org showed that many of the billionaires that we look up to today, who have made it, who have been successful, they are actually successful because they were given privilege given wealth. I actually have a wealthy friend, so I asked him one day, what's the best fatherly advice you were ever given? And he said, well, I think it's when my father said to me, here's $30 million, try not to lose it. Don't we all wish that was our story? But the reality is that it is possible to make a fortune in this world. It's just not common. And the reason it's not common is that there are inequalities in our financial system. Our financial system has some really big problems with it. It's run by a very small number of people, a very small number of entities, and a small number of nodes in terms of blockchain. So that's my journey, that's our global journey in finance. What's next? We all heard in 2017 that blockchain was going to change the world. Blockchain had such promise. It was going to democratize finance. It was going to put an end to corruption everywhere around the world. It was even going to free us from surveillance, it was going to give us privacy and freedom. This kept growing and growing, and in 2018, we got a little big for our boots. I don't know if any of you were around in 2018 when blockchain was all the hype, but in 2018, we really thought that blockchain was going to cure all diseases and create world peace. Unfortunately, the promise of blockchain, while real, has not been realized. So, what is next? Our financial system is fragile, and honestly, it's got a lot of inequalities, inefficiencies. If you've ever walked into a bank to ask for a loan, you know it's not really about what you can do in the world. It's about someone else looking at you and deciding if you're worthy to take that on. We don't need that. That's not what we want. What we want is an actual democratization of finance, the ability to have everyone in this room, and I want to take us on this journey. Everyone in this room can be in DeFi. Everyone in this room can create a future for themselves with DeFi. We've heard from a lot of people. Yesterday in the virtual conference, we've heard from a lot of people. And there's caution in this space. 20% returns seem like good enough. And they are. They're amazing compared to what the banks can do. What happened to my presentation? Anyway. They are amazing. These returns are really good. But I want to show you, if my presentation comes back, I want to show you some of the returns that you really can make in the DeFi space. So, I call it, let's coin a term for this conference. Let's say this DeFi Live conference is the beginning of your DeFi life. So what is your DeFi life? How can you get into DeFi if you don't have any DeFi, if you don't know what it's all about? There are a few simple tools that I want to give to you that will allow you to get into this DeFi space, if you're not there already. And if you are in DeFi, it'll allow you to expand beyond just putting money into Aave or Compound and getting some interest, which is a fine thing to do. You can make 12% interest on some of these platforms just by holding stablecoin, very low risk. But I would like to inspire this audience to actually go into Bitcoin or into DeFi in a bigger way. I would like to inspire you to start trading on liquidity pools. I have some slides. I'm not sure if they're coming up. Okay, I guess the projector is not right. But I can tell you what I was going to show you. The three tools that I recommend you get are 1, MetaMask, 2, Uniswap, which you don't have to get it, it's actually a Web3 application, and 3, you have to have some Ethereum. Well, you don't have to because there's a lot of other platforms that you can trade on. But let's say this simplified world that we're creating, your DeFi Life, you just need 3 tools, MetaMask, Uniswap, and some Ethereum, some Ether. Once you have those, you can start trading in liquidity pools, and you can achieve amazing returns. Okay. So I'll just click through till we get to my place. Okay, right. So what is DeFi? DeFi is where you deal with your peers algorithmically, one-to-one. It's not something that you have to have a third party come in and create this opportunity for you. You have the opportunity right now. As soon as you have your computer and the internet, you can do this. So DeFi levels the playing field for everyone. You can be your own bank. All right, what is a liquidity pool? A liquidity pool, I like to use the analogy of a coat check. When you go to a restaurant and you have your coat on, you don't want to carry it around with you, so you put it into the coat check. And what do they give you? A little ticket. That little ticket represents your coat. You can redeem your coat at any time. You don't actually have, this little piece of paper isn't really a coat, but it represents the coat that's in the room that you can redeem. Same thing with liquidity pools. Essentially, when you put liquidity into a pool, you will have a claim check on it, which is a liquidity pool token, and that allows you to redeem those tokens at any time. While those tokens are in the pool, other people are trading around, you're getting fees. So it's like you're making a bank, and people are trading on your bank, and you're collecting all the fees. Very simplified version of a liquidity pool. I'm just showing you some of so the company that I founded a year ago does DeFi Tools for professional investors, and I'm just showing you some of the returns that our clients have achieved. This is 1-week returns, and obviously some of these investments are risky. The top one there is a stable to ETH pair. That's probably the least risky one on this board, and you can still earn a good 14% on that. But if you go a little higher, if you add to your risk, it goes up and up. And yes, there's a larger risk of loss. But if you use the right tools and you do your due diligence, you can actually achieve these returns. And even if you do have some losses, your gains more than compensate for them. Oh, I just wanted to show you, this is one particular pool, one position that one of our clients has. They put in $11,000 US, and over a month, they were able to earn $2,400 just on one liquidity pool. It's pretty good returns. All right, so yeah, these are the 3 tools that I told you about earlier when I didn't have my presentation. MetaMask, and then that's Uniswap v2. Uniswap v2 looks a little daunting if you've never seen it before, but just to give you a little tour, up there, total liquidity, that's 219 million. This is a USDC ETH pool. All liquidity pools are paired. So this is a USDC ETH pool, fairly low risk, unless you think Ether is going to go down or up. But the volume over 24 hours is 24 million traded on that pool. It's actually a fairly modest pool, but all of those fees, and you can see $86,000 in fees were paid out over 24 hours. All of those fees go to the people in that liquidity pool, and it is very rewarding. This is a view on our tool, our dashboard. So the reason I brought this up is I noticed, all right, let me give you a tour of it, and then I'll say why I brought it up. So it's our dashboard. What we do is we sort through, filter through all of the pools that are out there on platforms, and we make sure they're legitimate. You can put your money in and take them out, and they're not like fly-by-night projects, as well as we can tell. And then we list them. You can sort them by all of these different fields, whether it's fees or total return or liquidity pool, liquidity size. But the reason I brought it up is one of our speakers yesterday, Radix, is actually ranking very highly on here. It's the 1, 2, 3, fourth one down. So a little plug for Radix. Look at how much the pool is. It's 5.4 million. And over the past 24 hours, I took this last night before I went to sleep. Over the past 24 hours, it traded 47 million. So that 5 million in the pool has turned over 40. I'm really good at math, but not arithmetic. 45 divided by 5 is 9, right? Okay, so it's turned over 9 times in 24 hours. That means all of your capital is being traded 9 times over. So imagine the fees that you can earn when your capital is being traded that much. Yes, so I forgot that I zoomed in there. Sorry, that was actually a 7-day, I misspoke. That's a 7-day, not a 1-day, so not 24 hours, it was a week, but still, pretty good returns. And then the next thing that I would say, to start your DeFi life, you want to manage your own portfolio. You want to keep in mind what your portfolio is doing. We had a panel yesterday on safe and passive income in DeFi, and all the panelists mostly agreed that safe and passive are misnomers for this space because you have to check your positions pretty often, at least every few days. It's not very passive at this point. However, you should at least keep track of what this is our dashboard, some of your portfolio returns. But the big thing in crypto, and the big thing in DeFi too, is that we all hear this term, your keys, your crypto. That's great, right? I own my private keys. I will have my own crypto. However, your keys, your crypto also means your keys, your mistakes. If you make a mistake, there's no bank that's going to bail you out and get your money back. I was telling this story over dinner last night. I have a friend who got phished and someone sent them Bitcoin and they called the bank and said, this happened. And the bank said, well, can't you just call Bitcoin and tell them this happened? So I've got Bitcoin on speed dial. I don't know about you guys, but I recommend it. No, I'm lying. There's no Bitcoin centralized entity. There's no way to get your Bitcoin back. And so if you do make a mistake, you lose your crypto. Very important to remember. You have great responsibility when you have your own crypto, and you can lose it. So this is just a view on the portfolio management. But you can see that over time, your profits are going up. It's up to 300,000 after about a month on a 100,000 pound investment. All right, so then the other thing that I want to talk about is compound interest. This is the best graph I could find online for compound interest. And the thing about it is that if you change, look at the difference. If you had 5% return per year, that's how much your investment would grow over the years. If you increase that up to 10%, there's a huge difference. Compounding is amazing. If you can get, one of our panelists yesterday said 20% yield long-term is entirely doable in DeFi. If you can get 20%, imagine what that graph would look like. Unfortunately, I couldn't find any graphs that are 20% because no one offers that in the traditional finance world. So, start your DeFi life today. Start small, but start now. Now is the right time to be doing it. It's young, the industry is very immature, but there's incredible opportunity. And I want all of you to share in DeFi life. So throughout this day, we're going to learn a lot. We're going to see a lot of amazing speakers presenting. Let's pay attention and see what we can learn that will help us to further our goals and to start our DeFi life today. Thank you.